Welcome to the Pirate Handyman, where we teach you how to become self-sufficient and save more coin for your treasure chest. If you like what we're doing, hit that subscribe button down below and join the crew. Doesn't cost you a dime. And if you hit that ship's notification bell, you'll be notified every time a new video drops. So what we're looking at today is we got some water damage on our ceiling, and we had a leak upstairs that we fixed, but it came down and it ran along this joint here. And if you can see, here's where it's the worst, but it's a taped joint, and it runs all the way back here and runs about 10-12 feet that way. So what we've got to do first is we've got to take the old tape down, and it's dried out. So we're going to take it all down, and then we'll show you what we'll do next. So the first thing I'm going to do is just use this to try to get it out of there. And I was hoping that it was going to come out in one piece so I could just rip all the way down, but it's dried out, so it's just going to flake off. We've got to make sure that we get all of it. Here's where our joint is. Got to make sure we get all of it so we can get the tape in there. If you can see here, the tape is still in place. You see that little ridge right there? This is what the tape looks like, and you can see there's a little ridge right here. Turn the tape over. See a little better. And that ridge is supposed to go into the joint. So we've kind of got lucky here in that the ridge is holding, and so the expansion, there's no expansion here. What happened was the water just ran down either side. So we are not going to have to replace the tape. We're about easy here at Pirate Handyman. So what we're going to do is just continue to gently remove what's about 3 coats of paint, and we'll just keep going, and that way we're just going to have to put the compound, the joint compound on there, and we'll work that in, let it dry, and we'll show you how that goes. Alright, now this is called wallboard joint compound. It's typically referred to as mud by those in the business. So if you hear me talking about mudding, that's what this is. Now this is a premix mud compound. It also comes in powder, and I just happen to have this because of another repair that I did. Bought too much, but it holds up pretty good. And if it comes in a powder, then you can just mix up what you need rather than having a whole bucket of it. Alright, so now we're ready to put the mud up on the ceiling. And if you'll notice, if you've ever seen a professional drywaller, they always have a pallet that they have that, is probably about 12 inches square that they put the mud on, and it makes it easier to handle. Well, I'm not going to go out and buy one of those just for a repair. So what I've done is I've taken a 1x2 and then a couple of paper plates and just nailed it onto the top, and I'll load my mud in here. And that way I can go up and I don't have to worry about holding a bucket or a bowl or anything like that. All right, so once again, apparently the water just came down and it soaked the mud that was on this side of the tape. But the tape is adhering to the drywall up here, so we don't have to worry about taking the tape down and having to retape it. So what I'm going to do here is just take the mud. Gonna wipe it in there, and you want to make sure you get a good amount, and then smooth it out a little bit, and you can drop it on yourself.
99 bottles of rum and we got 99 bottles of rum. Drink it down, don't act like a clown. 98 bottles of rum and we got 99 bottles of rum and we got 99 bottles of rum. Drink it down, don't act like a clown. 98 bottles of rum and we got
Now you can see we do have some bumping in there because of the texture that's on the ceiling. We're going to take care of that when we sand it. Okay, so now the mud has dried for the prescribed time. It'll tell you on the side of the box or the side of the bucket. And you can see we've got some ridges here, and we've also got some dips. So what we want to do, first of all, is we want to sand the ridges down, and then we're going to remud. Now, what you want to do for the sanding, just using here a block of wood with some 100 grit sandpaper, 100 grit or 150 grit, and just wrap it around an old piece of wood. You don't want to use an electric sander because an electric sander is going to go in too far. And you should only have to go over it just a few times. And you can see we got rid of that one ridge right there. I'll show you again on these ridges right here. Have to do it again. And now we've got rid of them. So we're going to do that along the whole length that we mudded, and then we'll come back and show you how to remud it. All right, so we have sanded the whole run, took about 5 minutes. And you can see there's two things that we have to watch for now as we remud this. Remember, the mud is to fill in all of the cracks and holes and things like that. So right here, right here, you can see we've got a little bit of a divot. And then over here, we've got a bit of an edge. And what happened was, while the mud dries, it contracts a little bit. So you're almost always going to have to go over it twice, and that's typical for any type of repair. And you can see this is the ridge of the tape that is covering the joint. And again, it just went in there and then contracted as it dried. So now we're going to remud and show you how to do that. It's pretty much the same as we did before. We just don't have to use quite as much mud because we don't have as much underneath. And on these ridges, it always helps to go across and then with the crack. All right, so we'll wait for the clock to finish. Okay, so we've got our patch done. Now you can see that I've got one little spot here I had to repatch because I sanded it too hard. But other than that, we have now finished. We've got the patching all done. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to paint it and then texture it. But you'll have to stay tuned. That's a new video. Okay, thanks for joining us here on the Pirate Handyman, where we teach you how to become more self-sufficient and save coin for your treasure chest. Remember, you can join our crew for free. Just hit that subscribe button down below. And if you hit that ship's notification bell, you'll be notified every time a new tip and a new video is downloaded. So here's to smooth sailing.